Andrew Heaney was almost entirely unhittable last night, and Oneil Cruz put a new gopher hole in the lawn beyond the center field wall at Angel Stadium. We'll talk about that and more today on Locked On Pirates.
You are Locked On Pirates, your daily Pittsburgh Pirates podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Hi, I'm Gary. This is Locked On Pirates, and today we're going to talk about Andrew Heaney shoving, Oneil Cruz crushing, and Derek Shelton turning over a new leaf in a potentially too late effort to save his job. Well, the Pirates won 3-0 to take Game 2 of the series against the Angels and secure the series win. Tonight, they have a chance for a sweep. Let's start with Andrew Heaney. Last night, 6 innings, 1 hit, 9 Ks. Wow. This is not the Andrew Heaney I expected. I'm just going to say that right now. So far this season, he's 2-1 with a 1.72 ERA, 31 Ks, and a .77 whip. Unreal numbers from Andrew Heaney. Certainly not what he's done in his career, at least as far as a regular baseline goes. And I would just like you to imagine for a second that he didn't give up the grand slam to Elly De La Cruz against Cincinnati. That's been the biggest blow against him this whole season long. In fact, even counting it, he's only given up 6 runs all season. I don't think you can expect this all year. I don't think that's in his history. This kind of outing, it's in him. He's done it. It's certainly something that we can hope for. It's just not something that I think we can plan to see a whole heck of a lot. Good stuff, though, from Andrew Heaney. You are starting to feel for sure good when he takes the mound. I mean, you know what you're going to get out of him, at least a professional at bat, a professional approach to every at bat. And something that I saw last night, he's just doing something different with his fastball. He's got a little bit of Bailey Falter in him in that the fastball's going and you're not really sure why the fastball's getting outs or getting strikeouts or getting people to just swing and miss, but it is. Mike Trout staring at fastballs on the inside corner, staring at fastballs in the top third of the zone, like right in front of his eyes, middle. There's something deceptive there that we're not picking up on. The cameras certainly don't pick up on it. It's very hard to tell because we're not in that batter's box, but there's sometimes these guys do things to hide the ball and really kind of sneak up their fastballs on people. Andrew's doing a little bit of that. He's got a little bit of a hesitation game in his delivery where he'll alter the time it takes for him to throw to the plate here and there. In fact, Andrew was going so good last night. At one point, he got called for a pitch clock violation. And Derek Shelton was livid about it because there's a policy in MLB. You're supposed to get a warning about it. And we'll talk about Derek Shelton later because I think this is a sign that Derek Shelton's trying to do some things a little bit differently. And I don't think it's going to be successful, but still, I think it's a sign. Regardless, he's standing out there arguing with this umpire. And I mean, passionately arguing with him. And Andrew Heaney is just tapping his glove on his leg like, come on, coach, let's go. I want to throw the baseball. He was ready to go, raring, chomping at the bit. I'd love to see it. He's a confident pitcher right now. I don't think anything's going to shake him anytime soon. I was a little bit worried about some of this West Coast swing, if only because he's got a lot more familiarity, especially on the AL side. So I thought, maybe some people have seen him before. They'll be worried, especially like this team, former teammates and everything. They know him. It didn't hurt him at all. In fact, even the hit he gave up was borderline over the bag. I mean, he really could have carried a no-hitter. Now his pitch count was where it needed to be to pull him out of the game one way or another, but great stuff to see from Andrew Heaney. Brought in here as a veteran. You can criticize Ben Cherington for an awful lot of things, and Lord knows we do. But one thing you can't criticize him for is his ability to find veteran left-handers. He doesn't miss. And tonight's opponent, we're going to see an old friend, Tyler Anderson. So we'll talk about him a little bit. He's still going. But remember, when he was acquired by Ben Cherington, he was a less than nobody. None of us knew him. None of us knew what to expect. And he's really done nothing except go with the career that got turned around, started here. Really, really interesting stuff. Oneil Cruz is the other player I really wanted to focus on in the first segment here. First of all, what a massive home run, 264 feet to dead center. When I made a joke that he put a new gopher hole out there in center field, but man, that is a mammoth home run. Most people do not get to that lawn area out in center field at Angel Stadium. In fact, I think he was bested by Mike Trout and one other player for longest home run there. Mike Trout's was 200 or 495 feet, and I think Shohei Ohtani almost hit 500. So crazy swing of the bat. Great stuff. Here's Oneil Cruz's offensive rankings among MLB center fielders right now. 355 OBP is good for third. 519 slug is good for fourth. 874 OPS, good for fourth. 6 home runs, tied for first. 11 stolen bases, that's first. 13 in walks, that's tied for second. 40 total bases, tied for fifth. Folks, if you're complaining about Oneil Cruz right now, you are Jerry Seinfeld. You are incapable of finding the perfect woman and destined to never find one at all. Oneil Cruz is doing a great job. He really is. Is he a perfect player? No. Does he make mistakes? Yes. Does he lose focus sometimes? Sure. Is he slow out of the box every once in a while? Yes. But the things that this guy's getting criticized for, we're just taking it a little too far, okay? I understand the frustration. Oneil Cruz has more talent than most players. So if he would exercise that attention all the time, you would feel better about him. You'd feel like, oh my goodness, there's no end in sight for what this kid can do. I think eventually something like that will click with him. But right now, this is a kid that just enjoys playing baseball. He's trying. Center field, he's getting a little better. The routes need to improve. But he is starting to get to the balls a little bit easier. It doesn't look like as much of an adventure when he gets to them. And I've seen him taking charge, even with Brian Reynolds a little bit. Good stuff to see. He's taking charge on charging those balls into center field, too. In fact, he's been better at that than the other people they've played in center field. He's doing a good job of coming in on balls. Going back is a little bit of an adventure. And balls to either side in the gaps, he really needs to learn how to arc to the ball. He's taking a more direct path, and balls are getting past him. That's a problem. But things that he's doing at the plate, like you hit a ball 118 miles an hour to right field, and people are mad that you don't get to second base on it. I'm sorry, man. Like 118 to the outfield, it's going to be hard to get to second base. If anything, he maybe hits the ball a little too hard sometimes. Does he admire them? I guess. Sometimes it looks to me like he's just trying to catch his balance to get going. It's not like he has a hard time getting started on the base paths when he's trying to steal bases. So this is more just swing the bat real hard, catch your balance, get all your big parts back together, and see if you can make it to first base. And yeah, should he leg more of those out? I think so. But he's also turning around and stealing second if he doesn't. So maybe lay off. In other words, you might not have the prettiest date to the prom, but she's pretty fine. Calm down and put the corsage on her and calm down. That's a good player. This is a real good player. Save your criticisms for people that really deserve it, you know? And I think it's the same thing with Greg Brown. A lot of people listen to him and he criticizes Oneil Cruz quite a bit. It's the same thing. He sees Oneil Cruz as somebody that can do incredible things. And he's really frustrated that he's not doing said incredible things. I get it. it's misconstrued as to what the outcome is or why it's happening. But bottom line is you've got right now, I think, one of the best center fielders in the game as far as production goes offensively. And he's got a chance to move up defensively as well. That's a good start. He's only been in center field for 6 months. Let's see how he does. Let's let him grow a little bit. Let's not be so impatient. It's not very often we've had somebody that can do what he can do offensively. He's on pace for 39 home runs and 71 stolen bases if you extrapolate everything out. When's the last time we had something like that in Pittsburgh? Right. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Derek Shelton potentially turning over a new leaf and maybe a little bit of David Bednar. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. Play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of the console. Already have a console? A Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take your, or I guess your kids' games wherever you plug in. I like to take it in hotels when I travel for work. I think it's much more portable, a lot of fun to have. I like to wind down playing some video games at night. It's not like you can ship a console, and all the handheld options out there, they don't cut it. So I think it's a great option. Head to Amazon.com/FireTV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K second generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max first and second generation, and Fire TV Cube second generation. All right, welcome back to Locked On Pirates. Is Derek Shelton turning over a new leaf? That's the question. It's, first of all, a lot easier to look like a smart manager when your bullpen's going well. And let's see, Michael says, I'm pulling out the Hoppers hat. Yes, I am. Good old Hoppers. And Tom says, hey, Gary, does Shelton use the same lineup 3 days in a row? He should. No, I don't think he will. But I do think that he will keep a lot of the elements in place for tonight. You got a left-handed pitcher going. We'll talk about the pitcher matchup here in the third segment, and hopefully I'll make some sense as to why they'll probably change a few things. For instance, I don't think you're going to have Valdez start this game at first base. You're probably going to have Jared Triolo, and I don't think they're going to want Jared Triolo hitting cleanup or fifth. You know what I mean? So chances are you're going to see some shift in here. Joey Bart 3 days in a row. It's a little questionable too. I think you might see Davis in there. I'd love to see them stick with Kutch for another day. Obviously, having him face lefties is a good idea, and he just made a stink about wanting to play every day. I'd like to see it happen here for a week or so. Derek Shelton, is he changing his, way? Is he doing some things differently? He just ran the same lineup back twice. I can't remember the last time I saw that. I mean, we made a joke of it online, 18 hits and 9 runs. How do you not run this lineup back, especially against a similar pitcher? Well, he surprised everybody and did it. Nobody was more shocked than me when I saw that. So what do you do? I mean, I think you have to give him a little bit of credit for that. He at least changed something tangible that we've all been yelling about for a long time. Another thing I think is really kind of indicative was first the argument that he went out and had. You could tell he was itching for a fight. He was almost trying to get himself thrown out. I think to managers, especially when they start getting desperate about their team, their place on the team, whether they're going to get fired or not, I think you start seeing them try to insert faux passion. And I think that's what we might have seen from Derek Shelton. I've almost never seen a coach try so hard to get thrown out and be unsuccessful at it. That said, there's another part of it where the umpire knew he was wrong, and they tend to give you a lot of extra leash when they know they're wrong. Why they don't just reverse their decision instead, I don't know, but that seems to play out. And the other reason that I feel like Derek Shelton might be trying to turn over a new leaf, David Bednar came back, a few days ago, and last night they used him in the 7th inning for the second straight time, instead of just reinserting him into the closer role. I love it. It's exactly what I think a lot of us felt would be the responsible way to use David Bednar. And it's really hard for me to say I spent 10 minutes on this show talking about how that would be the responsible move. I spent 15 minutes on my other show talking about how that would be the responsible move. And I spent a good 10 minutes on both shows telling you exactly why I thought they were too stupid to do it. So when Derek Shelton turns around and does exactly what I said he wouldn't do because he's too dumb, doesn't it kind of stand to reason I have to tell you, hey, maybe he's learning? Okay, again, the bullpen. It's hard to make a bad choice right now. Just about everybody's shoving. The one who isn't, he's using very sparingly, Kyle Nicholas. So I think you have to just kind of look at what he's done there a little bit. He is learning. He's still running Pham out there. He's still running Frazier out there. But Frazier's got a 7-game hitting streak, and he's been playing great defense. And no matter what you think about Tommy Pham, a couple really great defensive plays the other night, and he's getting on base. He is hitting. He's not hitting well, but he's hitting. They're falling in. It's not like I want either of those players to stay forever, but he's sticking with the hot hand right now, and he's managing this team. I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough to erase everything he's done, but I do think that we need to acknowledge he's doing some things that a lot of us have been screaming about for a while. That's to be commended, at least. Now, Bednar. Is David Bednar back? I mean, is he? I mean, I wanted him used in the 7th because I don't trust him in the back end yet. And the 7th is the fringes of the back end, and I'm okay with that. But he looks a lot like the David Bednar that went to the All-Star game. And I don't just mean results. I mean, the fastball is back to being commanded. And specifically what I mean by commanded is it's not 6 inches over the plate where nobody's going to even offer at it. That fastball is coming in borderline top of the zone, maybe 2 or 3 inches above it, tempting to all hitters. They all think they can catch it. And the velocity and the movement are coming in such a way that he's proving you can't. The curveball landing in the zone. And the splitter, he's used it, and when he uses it, he's not bouncing it. It's coming in a little bit below the zone. He's getting some weak contact on it. David Bednar looks a lot like the David Bednar that we all knew and loved a while ago. It can't be seen as anything but good. If he does matriculate back to the closer role, which I do think he probably will over time, I don't necessarily think it's going to take a Dennis Santana or Ryan Baracchi explosion for that to happen. I just think over time here, it's going to make a lot of sense to move Bednar back to closing, and that's going to stretch the bullpen out even more than it already is. You've already got Justin Lawrence, Caleb Ferguson, Ryan Baracchi, and Dennis Santana all sitting back there. You've got Dowry Moretta making progress. We're going to talk about the injury situation in the 3rd segment. You've got a lot of guys like right there who are still performing. Carmen Mlodzinski could wind up back in the bullpen after he starts tonight. So there's a lot of reinforcements coming too. But David Bednar could really kind of anchor that very back of the bullpen if he's right. I'd love to see Shelton give this another week or two of just seeing what he does. Maybe pop him in the 8th here and there, start working him back slowly and then see how it goes. The next thing we're going to talk about is the injury situation. There's a good update that came out from Tom Zach, and we're going to go through some of those, and then we're going to talk about tonight's matchup. And I'm going to use my friend Michael and his breakdown that he did on Steel City Pirates. Again, it's always good stuff. There's nothing better than catching an MLB game live. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of the ballpark food. And if you're looking to go last minute, Gametime makes getting tickets easier than ever. With last minute deals, all-in pricing, and a lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as Gametime gets closer, meaning you can score an incredible deal. Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On, and as the Pirates regular season is coming up, I can count on them to help grab tickets that meet my needs. In fact, my favorite time to use it is when I'm traveling. I just used it last year when I went to a San Francisco Giants game in San Francisco. It was a last minute idea, and lo and behold, I got some nice, really affordable tickets and a great seat at a ballpark I wasn't all that familiar with before. So really, really good service. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, welcome back to Locked On Pirates. It's injury update time. Everybody loves these, and we always get a lot of questions about injuries, sprinkled in. So it's good when they do the weekly update. Gives you a good overall picture of everyone's health. Andy Rodriguez is getting better. He is able now to move his finger. He can start participating in light baseball activities. He was seen throwing already at Angel Stadium. He does not have to wait until the stitches are removed to move forward with his recovery. Now, what they do with him when he's healthy is another story that perhaps we're going to have to dive into a little bit tomorrow, because I'm not 100% sure I bring him right back to MLB. He did not hit here, and perhaps it would be good to give him a little bit of seasoning in AAA. If they want him to play first base primarily, get him down there playing a lot more first base. If they want him to catch, okay, make him the starting catcher in AAA for a little bit and let Henry stay up here. I think we've already discussed why I think Henry just needs to stay at this point. Let's see. Spencer Horwitz. He is now in rehab at Pirate City in Bradenton. He faced Dowry Moretta, actually, in live batting practice just the other day on Tuesday. The plan for him is to repeat that workload and see how it responds. And then if it keeps going well, they're going to move him up. They haven't outlined necessarily how long it's going to take, because they're trying to remind you that this is his spring training too. So he's got a lot of work to do. I think you're probably looking at a couple weeks at least, and that should be good. Jared Jones is in a good spot now. He's scheduled to have imaging done later on in this week, as it's been about 6 weeks. And if it goes well, he'll progress to some kind of throwing activity. So you're probably looking at Jared Jones sometime late May, early June. Sounds like to me. They didn't say that. I say that. Nick Gonzalez, full weight bearing now on his ankle. He's playing light catch. He's going to get another x-ray at the end of this week to see if he can be out of his walking boot full time. And he's been running on an Ultra G treadmill with 65% of his body weight, so he's staying in shape. Still, it's going to take him a while to get his timing back. I'd imagine we're looking at a lengthy rehab when he comes back. Moretta faced Horwitz, like we were just talking about. He's thrown anywhere from 20 to 25 pitches, and he seems to be throwing all of his pitches with conviction. So doesn't have any that he isn't trying to throw anymore, including there were rumors that he was going to get rid of that reverse slider that he throws that kind of made him a little bit of a unicorn pitcher anyway. It's a pitch nobody else threw. And if he was going to drop that, I guess I had questions as to how effective he was going to be. Sounds like he's going to keep it, so good thing. Colin Holderman with that right knee sprain. He's made 2 appearances in AAA. He's thrown 30 pitches over 1 2/3 innings. He's given up 3 hits, 1 home run. He struck out 1. Colin Holderman still doesn't look good. So I'm hoping they don't just automatically call him back up when his rehab is over. I'm not sure where you'd put him right now. I'm not sure it makes a lot of sense to swap him for Nicholas because they're afraid to use Nicholas. I don't want to bring someone else I'm afraid to use up. And then this one's very positive as well. Johan Oviedo with the right lat strain. He's throwing out to about 75 feet now, and they're going to continue to build up his distance, intensity, and volume. I think you can expect that this one's going to last into late summer before we even start talking about him making it. But he has been pretty good. As far as the lineup goes tonight, let's see. Wilbert says, I'm interested to see what the lineup will be tonight. Yeah, I talked about it a little bit earlier when I was addressing Tom's question in the chat. I do think it's right to expect it to change a little bit. I think Valdez, for one, is a guy that you're probably going to want to sit for a minute. And I would ordinarily tell you, like, yeah, you could go ahead and sit like Frazier or Pham, but I don't see it. The other questionable area for me is Joey Bart. If they let Joey Bart go 3 games in a row catching, I'd be a little bit surprised. Although this is a night game, so it's not a night in the day game, which would almost be an automatic Henry Davis start. That said, you can't just let Henry rot. So I'm not sure what they do. Joey Bart's swinging a heck of a hot bat right now. I guess you could take Kutch out and put Bart in. Again, though, Kutch just made that stink. Bottom line is, I see them making a couple swaps, but I don't see them making a ton. The problem is those swaps are like Valdez and or Bart. And if you change either of those, well, your 4 and 5 hole are going to have to change. So everything kind of swaps, you know? And Triolo will go towards the bottom of the order. Hayes would probably move up to 5, although he hasn't really been swinging a hot bat either. Bottom line, I think the order is going to change. Now, Tyler Anderson, we're going to read some of what Michael wrote on my site about him. He's been really good this year, like really good. His BABIP is crazy as far as like the luck he's getting. His stuff, it's the same stuff that he's always thrown for us. You know, high 80s four-seamer, high 80s changeup, mid 80s cutter, occasional slider. He's even got a sinker and a curve. But you know how he is. He changes speeds, he changes motion, he changes delivery. He messes with your timing as best he can, and he's interesting. He really is. Anderson has an ability to locate the changeup and generate whiffs, and he's doing so at a 41.4% clip. That is insane. The lefty-right splits on Anderson this year are really weird. He's 350 lefties are hitting against him. Now, it's only been 22 batters that he's faced. Righties are batting 074 against him. He's faced 66 of those. I don't see this being enough to have Derek Shelton alter his decision to go with a righty-heavy lineup. I think the league will take a long time to adjust to that because in his career, Tyler Anderson's numbers suggest the opposite. It is harder as a lefty facing him. But this should probably encourage Derek Shelton to not do something silly like sit Cruz. You know, I think he'll probably stay in the game, and he's been hitting lefties anyway, just not as well. I think this is a good time to leave him in, see if the reverse splits work for somebody. Plus, you're going to have Frazier probably too. So you'll have a couple lefties in there. I don't see them altering it all that much. I do think, though, the traditional righty lineup that Derek Shelton runs out there, he tends to go with Brian Hayes leading off and moves Cruz down in the lineup a little bit. So this lineup really does stand to be considerably different than it's been the last 2 days when they generated some offense. The other thing that I think we have to think about with the Pirates is while the offense is doing better and they're making a mess on the base paths, they're getting a lot of people on. They're leaving a lot of people on base too. Got to clutch up a little bit. Got to start getting more of those runs home. Positive development last night was Brian Reynolds taking the sac fly that was in front of him and making sure that he got it. Now, he almost put the ball out of the ballpark, but still, good hit, exactly what you need to do. Got to get the runs when they're sitting on the doorstep for you. This team has got to start coming through with runners in scoring position a lot more. Early on, they were leading some categories here with runners in scoring position. That is no longer the case. These last couple games alone were enough to move that needle in the wrong direction. So let's hope that we see that trend reverse tonight. And then who knows what happens? You get a sweep of the Angels, you go into, the Dodgers with your head held high. Everything's gravy past then. You're playing with house money. You lose 3 to the Dodgers. Everyone's going to expect that you would lose 3 to the Dodgers. So be it, right? It's not like you're happy about it, but there's not as much pressure to make sure that you do whatever. And when that happens, you tend to perform a little bit better. So that's kind of what I'm hoping we see with the Pirates. Let's get this sweep. That's the thing I'd love to see most from Derek Shelton tonight. If we really want to ask if he's turning over a new leaf, well, if you're turning over a new leaf, then when you have opportunities to score late and it makes sense to pinch hit, I expect you to do so. I expect you to make moves that make me feel like you want to win this game. I want to see moves that show me that it's crucial to you that you get this sweep completed. You're not happy with 2 out of 3. Let's make this a productive West Coast trip and come home happy, because the Pirates still can't escape sell the team chance, except they're out in California, and this time they're for the other team. That's all I got for you today, everybody. It's been a really good episode. Thank you so much for joining me on these live episodes. We're going to do another one tomorrow. Let's keep it going for the West Coast, right? I love it, baby. It's good stuff. Thank you for making Locked On Pirates your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts.